Soft, soft that helmet goes.
No, no, Mr. Temple. Again, the helmet comes off when we sing, so off the helmet goes. Not later.
Beg pardon, I see what you mean. Cheer up, Mr. Gilbert. It'll be all right.
Be sure to get it right at tonight's performance. Sullivan, it's as though he takes a sadistic glee in doing exactly that which makes my blood boil.
Gilbert, that song was a particular success at the Princess Ida opening last night. You ought not let him upset you, considering how wonderfully the ladies in the cast performed.
Yes, the ladies do seem to take to my staging with greater ease.
And the female voice is so much more...
Mr. Gilbert!
pleasant.
Mr. Gilbert, I would like a word with you.
It's a distinct pleasure. It is
Do not patronize me, sir. Have you seen today's Daily Post?
I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
The Lady Blanche has a song, Come Mighty Must, the humor of which rather misses fire. Now, what do you have to say about this?
With Miss Brandram, I hardly know.
Clearly it was not me. He was unmoved by the song itself.
Oh, but see here, he later mentions, and best perhaps of all, the charming duet between...
Duet? Mr. Sullivan, I trust that you're next opera will include a contralto aria worthy of my talents. People come miles to see me!
Ah, Mr. Lovely to see you, as always. Contralto.
Oh, Mr. Cart, that is not a contralto. That is a tiger cat.
A cat, Sullivan. Bah!
She terrifies me.
I rather think she likes you.
Oh, pish.
Pish. At least our soprano was absolutely glorious.
Yes, our soprano did sound particularly delectable, didn't she?
Sullivan, I don't know that I would describe the soprano voice as something one might taste. Then again, you do take a particular fascination with Miss Bray.
I'm sure I've no idea to what you are referring.
I must agree with both of you. She was absolutely glorious and distinctly yummy on the ear.
Yum, yummy indeed.
Mr. Cart, we have a delivery for you. Ah, excellent. Bring it in. And I must say, she and that tenor was such a believable couple.
Mr. Bracy, that ill-mannered, unwashed, nincomnanky old poo.
A ninkum-nanky poo. If you feel that way, why do we continue to employ him?
Well, he's still a very fine tenor.
Gentlemen, as an opening night gift, I thought I would use my considerable influence to acquire for you a private preview
Of what?
of the much anticipated authentic Japanese exhibit at Knightsbridge.
For us. How thoughtful.
How excessive.
Isn't it? But before we immerse ourselves in these Japanese wonders, I have one simple question for you. What are you writing next?
It is not a simple question.
Our Cart, ever the producer.
I prefer impresario and proud of it.
Oh, but see here, this painting.
The artwork is exquisite.
What delicacy.
What refinement.
Gilbert, you are the storyteller, the writer of words and the creator of worlds. Tell us, what new story do you have brewing inside that head of yours?
Well, I don't mind admitting that I've been struggling greatly on this point. But I would like to suggest a story about a magic lozenge.
Oh, Gilbert, not again. Not another magical intervention story.
Well, really, there's no need to chop my head off.
Now, Sullivan, I don't think you should simply pooh-pooh it outright.
No. I suppose poo-pooing is a producer's job.
Oh, pooh. I mean, oh, ball.
Oh, but see here, this vase and this jar so ornate and yet so functional at the same time.
And these fans, look at the colors. Ooh, the designs. Can you imagine our ladies using fans like these?
You know, I've heard in Japan men carry fans as well.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, truly, it's very warm there.
You've been.
Now, what do you suppose this is for?
I'm the foggiest.
Oh. This, however, is a book filled with blank pages. Oh, we don't have to guess what this is for, do we? Perhaps we should fill these pages with words and music. Wouldn't that be glorious?
Are there no examples of Japanese clothing?
Oh, I imagine it's not all that different from our own
Gentlemen.
clothing, just more flour.
Gentlemen, please. Time is of the essence. I must ask that you start work on a new production worthy of following your Princess Ida. And I will take care of everything else.
Indeed.
You.
Me. It is a producer's job to wear many, many hats, is it not? Think of me as your theatrical maid of all work. Please, gentlemen, can't we find a way for the two of you to agree to work together? The financial stability of the company depends on it.
Very well. Sullivan, if I construct a consistent plot, I know not on what topic, in perfect good faith and to the best of my ability, will you set it to music?
I would gladly undertake to set such a plot.
Cooperation! Mr. Gilbert, I feel confident that you and your co-conspirator can collaborate on something
Coco. Pathetic.
copacetic.
Tosh!
Oh, that's the spirit. Oh. Now, what have we here?
Oh, this piece is simply exquisite.
Remarkable craftsmanship.
Oh, think how lovely it would look hanging above the mantelpiece?
Oh, perhaps.
I suppose.
Ah, you see, the two of you are agreeing on something already.
I suppose it couldn't hurt just to see what it would look like.
Mr. Gilbert, we have a complaint. Hurry,
One at a time, if you please! Oh, ow.
Mr. Gilbert, please say you're all right.
Yes, sir. A most sincere apology.
Not at all, not at all. Never better. Whew. Nothing like a sharp knock on the head to shake loose a bit of stubborn inspiration. In fact, just had the most wonderful idea.
Want to know who we are? We are gentlemen of Japan. On many a bars and jar, on many a screaming fan, we figure in lively paint, our attitudes clearly quaint. You're wrong if you think it ain't. By strings, like a puppeteer's marionette. You don't understand these things. It is simply court etiquette. Perhaps you suppose this throng can't keep it up all day long. If that's your idea, you're wrong. If that's your idea, you're wrong. If you want to know who we are gentlemen of Japan. On bars and jar, on screen and fan, on many a jar.
Gentlemen, I pray you tell me where a gentle maiden dwelleth named Yum Yum, the ward of Coco. In pity speak, oh speak, I pray you.
Why, who are you who ask this question?
Come, gather round me, and I'll tell you. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My catalogue is long, through every passion ranging, and to your humors changing. I tune my supple song, I tune my supple song. Are you in sentimental mood? I'll sigh with you. Oh, sorrow, on maiden's coldness do you brood? I'll do so too. Oh, sorrow, sorrow, I'll charm your willing ears with songs of lovers' fears, while sympathetic tears these my cheeks be due. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. But if patriotic sentiment is wanted, I've patriotic ballads cut and dried. For where our country's banners may be planted, all other local banners are defied. All warriors in serried ranks assembled, never fail or they conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble before the mighty troops, the troops of Titty-Boo.
We shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble, tremble with alarm before the mighty troops, the troops of Titty-Boo.
And if you call for song of the sea, we'll heave the capstan round. With a yo-heave-ho, for the wind is free, her anchor's a trip and her helm's a lee. Hurrah for the homeward bound.
Yo-heave-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound.
To lay aloft in a howling breeze may tickle our landsman's taste, but the happiest hour of a sailor seas is when he's down in an inland town with his Nancy on his knees. Yo-ho! And his arm around her waist.
And man the capstan, off we go as the fiddler swings us round. With a yo-heave-ho and a rum below, hurrah for the homeward bound. With a yo-heave-ho and a rum below, yo-ho, 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 heave-ho, 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 yo-ho.
A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballads, songs, and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy lullaby.
What might be your business with Yum Yum?
Oh, I'll tell you. A year ago, I was a member of the Titty-Poo Town Band.
Oh.
It was my duty to take the cap round for contributions. While discharging this delicate office, I saw Yum Yum. We loved each other at once, but she was betrothed to her guardian, Coco, a cheap tailor, and I saw that my suit was hopeless. Overwhelmed with despair, I quitted the town. Judge of my delight when I found out a month ago that Coco had been condemned to death for flirting. I hurried back at once, at hopes of finding Yum Yum at liberty to listen to my protestations.
It is true. Coco was condemned to death for flirting, but was reprieved at the last moment and raised to the exalted rank of Lord High Executioner under the following remarkable circumstances. A great Mikado, virtuous man, when he to rule our land began, resolved to try a plan whereby young men might best be steadied. So he decreed in words succinct that all who flirted, leered, or winked, unless connubially linked, should forthwith be beheaded, 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 should forthwith be beheaded. And I expect that you'll agree that he was right to so decree. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right as right can be.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right as right can be. And all is right as right can be. Right as right can be.
this stern decree you'll understand caused great dismay throughout the land, where young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked a roving eye, who breathed a non-connubial sigh, was thereupon condemned to die. He usually objected. He usually objected. And you'll allow, as I expected, he was right to so object. And I am right, and you are right, and everything is quite correct.
And you are right, and we are right, and everything is quite correct, and everything is quite correct. All is quite correct.
And so we straight let out on bail a convict from the county jail, whose head was next on some pretext condemned to be mown off, and made him headsman, for we said, who's next to be decapitated. Cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own off, his own off, his own off, until he's cut his own off. And we are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right to Lurale.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right to Lurale. And you are right, and we are right, and all is right.
Coco, the cheap tailor, Lord High Executioner of Titipu, that's the highest rank a citizen can attain.
It is. Our logical Mikado, seeing no moral difference between the dignified judge who condemns a criminal to die and the industrious mechanic who carries out the sentence, has rolled the two offices into one, and every judge is now his own executioner.
But how good of you, for I see that you are a nobleman of the highest rank, to condescend to tell all this to me, a mere strolling minstrel.
Don't mention it. I am, in point of fact, a particularly haughty and exclusive person of pre-Adamite ancestral descent. You will understand this when I tell you that I can trace my ancestry back to a protoplasmal, primordial, atomic globule. Consequently, my family pride is something inconceivable. I can't help it. I was born sneering, but I struggle hard to overcome this defect. I mortify my pride continually. When all the high officers of state resigned in a body because they were too proud to serve under an ex-tailor, did I not unhesitatingly take up all their posts at once?
And the salaries attached to them? You did.
It is consequently my degrading duty to serve this upstart as First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Commander-in-Chief, Lord High Admiral, Master of the Buckhounds, Groom of the Backstairs, Archbishop of Titipu, and Lord Mayor, both acting and elect, all rolled into one. And at a salary. A poobah paid for his services, I, a salaried minion. But I do it. It revolts me, but I do it.
And it does you credit.
But I don't stop at that. I go and dine with middle-class people on reasonable terms. I dance at cheap suburban parties for a moderate fee. I accept refreshment at any hand, however lowly. I also retail state secrets at a very low figure. For instance, any further information about Yum Yum would come under the head of a state secret. Another insult, and I think a light one.
this fair likewise go to. Yum, yum, the fair you must not woo. It will not do, I'm sorry for you, you very imperfect ablutioner. This very day from school, yum, yum, will went away and homeward come with wheat and rum and a rum-tum-tum to wed the Lord High Executioner. And the brass will crash and the trumpets play and they'll cut a dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as old never with the Lord High Executioner. And the brass will crash and the trumpets play and they'll cut a dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as old never with the Lord High Executioner. It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place away I'd flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your pleasure a diminutioner. They'll vow the pact extremely soon. In point of fact, this afternoon, a honeymoon with that buffoon at 7 commences, so you should know. And the brass will crash and the trumpets play and they'll cut a dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as told ever with the Lord High Executioner. And the brass will crash and the trumpets play and they'll cut a dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as old ever with the Lord High Executioner. And have I journeyed for a month, or nearly, to learn that Yum Yum, whom I love so dearly, this day to Coco is to be united. The facts appear to be as you've recited. But here he comes, equipped as suits his station. He'll give you any further information.
By a set of curious chances, liberated then on bail, on my own recognizances, wafted by a favoring gale, as one sometimes is in trances, to a height that few can scale, saved by long and weary dances, surely never had a male, under such like circumstances, so adventurous a tale, which may rank with most romances. Taken from the county jail,
From the county
by a
jail,
set of glorious
liberated then on
surely never had
had a man so adventurous a tale. Give her to the Lord High Executioner. Give her to the noble Lord, High Executioner. Bow down to the Lord High Executioner. Give her to the noble Lord, the High Executioner.
Gentlemen, I am much touched by this reception. I can only trust that by strict attention to duty, I shall ensure a continuance of those favors which it shall ever be my study to deserve. If I should ever be called upon to act professionally, I am happy to think that there will be no difficulty in finding plenty of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to society at large. As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. There's the pestilential nuisances who beg for autographs, or people who have flabby hands and irritating laughs, or persons who in shaking hands shake hands with you like that. The lady who walks in to ask, does this make me look fat? And all third persons who on spoiling tete-a-tetes insist, they'd none of them be missed.
He's got them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed,
There's the orchestra conductor who insists on his own pace. And the comic timpanist. I've got you on my list. There's the girl who won't date tenors, but she's all about that bass. She never would be missed. There's the brand new musicale that's getting praise throughout the land, which nobody can see 'cause tickets cost about $1,000. The cook who serves the freshest food when really it's all tinned. All people who don't fess up when they know they've broken wind. And the naughty, handsome man with whom your wife just had a tryst. I'm sure he won't be missed.
He's got them on the list, and I don't think he'll be missed. I'm sure he'll not be missed.
There's the bully on the playground who will push you in the mud until she's gotten kissed. I've got her on the list. There's the drunkard at your local pub who thinks he's such a stud that he'll show you with his fist. But thankfully, he missed. And those awful social climbers who can make you hate your life. Anyone who has the gall to call themselves a real housewife. Like what's her name and pouty face, and also, oh you know, I can't recall their names, I've never watched the stupid show. And it really doesn't matter which of them are on my list, for they'll none of them be missed.
You may put them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
It seems that the festivities in connection with my approaching marriage must last a week. Now, I should like to do it handsomely, and I want to consult you as to the amount I ought to spend upon them.
Certainly. In which of my capacities? As First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chamberlain, Attorney General, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Privy Purser, or Private Secretary?
Oh, suppose we say as private secretary.
Speaking as your private secretary, I should say that as the city will have to pay for it, don't stint yourself. Do it well.
Oh, exactly, as the city shall have to pay for it. That is your advice?
Speaking as your private secretary, of course, as Chancellor of the Exchequer, I am bound to see that due economy is observed.
Oh, but you said just now, do that again. Don't stint yourself, do it well.
Speaking as your private secretary,
And now you say that due economy must be observed.
as Chancellor of the Exchequer.
I see. Well, come over here where the Chancellor can't hear us. Now then, as my solicitor, how do you advise me to deal with this difficulty?
Oh, as your solicitor, I should have no hesitation in saying, Chauncey.
Oh, thank you, I will.
If it were not that as
Lord Chief Justice, I am bound to see that the law isn't violated.
I see. Well, come over here where the Chief Justice can't hear us. Now then, as First Lord of the Treasury.
Of course, as First Lord of the Treasury, I could propose a special vote that would cover all expenses. If it were not that as leader of the opposition, it would be my duty to resist it tooth and nail. Or, as Paymaster General, I could so cook the accounts that as Lord High Auditor, I should never discover the fraud. But then, as Archbishop of Titipu, it would be my duty to denounce my dishonesty and give myself into my own custody as First Commissioner of Police.
That's extremely awkward.
Well, I don't say that all of these distinguished people couldn't be square, but it is right to tell you that they would not be sufficiently degraded in their own estimation unless they were insulted with a very considerable bribe.
Aha! The matter shall have my careful consideration. But my bride and her sisters approach, and any little compliment on your part, such as an abject grovel, would be esteemed a favor.
No money, no grovel.
It's just a
Each a little bit of
little maids from school are we, pert as a schoolgirl well can be, filled to the brim with girlish glee. 3 little maids from school, everything is a source of fun. Nobody's safe, for we care for none. Life is a joke that's just begun. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids who all unwary come from a lady's seminary. 3 from a genius tutor Larry. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school. 1 little maid is a bright yum-yum. 2 little maids in attendance hum. 3 little maids with a total sum. 3 little maids from school. From 3 little maids take 1 away. 2 little maids remain, and they won't have to wait very long, they say. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids who all unwary come from a lady's seminary. 3 from a genius tutor Larry. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school.
My little bride-to-be.
Oh, you're not going to kiss me in front of all these people.
That was the idea.
It seems odd, don't it?
Rather peculiar. I expect it's all right. Well, things must have a beginning, you know.
Well, of course, I know nothing about these things, but I've no objection if it's usual.
Oh, it's quite usual, I think. Eh, Lord Chamberlain?
I have known it done.
Oh, thank goodness that's over. Why, that's never you!
I beg your pardon. Would you present me?
Oh, this is the gentleman.
Now, one at a time, if you please.
If you please, this is the gentleman who used to play so beautifully on the
Veranda.
Yes, I think that was the name of the instrument.
Sir, I have the misfortune to love your ward. Yum yum. Oh, I know I deserve your anger.
Anger? Not a bit, my boy. Why, I love her myself. Charming little girl, isn't she? Pretty eyes, nice hair, taking little thing altogether. Glad to hear my opinion backed by a competent authority. Thank you very much, and goodbye. We'll take him away.
I beg your pardon, but what is this? Customer come to try on?
That is a tremendous swell.
It's alive.
Go away, little girls. They can talk to little girls like you. Go away, there's this.
Allow me to present you, Pooh-Bah. These are my 3 wards. The one in the middle is my bride-elect.
What do you want me to do to them? Mind, I will not kiss them.
No, you shan't kiss them, no. A little bow. A mere nothing. You needn't mean it, you know.
It goes against the grain. They're not young ladies, they're young persons.
Now, come. Make an effort. That's a good nobleman.
Well, I shan't mean it. Howdy-do, little girls. Howdy-do. Oh, my protoplasmal ancestor.
That's very good.
I see nothing to laugh at. It is very painful for me to have to say, howdy-do, little girls, howdy-do, to young persons. I am not in the habit of saying, howdy-do, little girls, howdy-do, to anyone under the rank of a stockbroker.
Now, don't laugh at him. Don't laugh at him. He can't help it. He's under treatment for it. Now, never mind them. They don't understand the delicacy of your position.
We know how delicate it is, don't we?
Oh, I should think we did. Why, how a nobleman of your importance can do it at all is a thing I never can, never shall understand.
So please with much regret if we have failed in etiquette towards a man fling so high, we shall know better by and by. But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, so pardon us. And don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us, be hard on us. If we're inclined to dance and sing, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us. And don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us. Youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us.
I think you ought to recollect you cannot show too much respect toward the highly titled few, but nobody does, and why should you? That youth that touch should have its fling is pardon us, to our prerogative we cling. So pardon us, if we decline to dance and sing. Tra-la-la-la-la-la,
Yum Yum, at last we are alone. I have sought you night and day for 3 weeks in the belief that your guardian was beheaded. And I find that you are about to be married to him this afternoon.
Alas, yes.
But you do not love him.
Alas, no.
Modified rapture. Why do you not refuse him?
Oh, what good would that do? He's my guardian and he wouldn't let me marry you.
But I would wait until you were of age.
You forget that girls in Japan do not arrive at years of discretion until they are 50.
True. From 17 to 49 are considered years of indiscretion.
Besides, a wandering minstrel who plays a wind instrument outside of tea houses is hardly a fitting husband for the ward of a Lord High Executioner.
But shall I tell her? Yes, she will not betray me. What if it should prove that, after all, I am no musician?
There! I was certain of it. Directly I heard you play.
Well, what if it should prove that I am no other than the son of His Majesty, the Mikado?
The son of the Mikado. But why is your Highness disguised? And what has your Highness done? And does your Highness promise never to do it again?
Some years ago, I had the misfortune to captivate Katisha, an elderly lady of my father's court. She misconstrued my customary affability for expressions of affection and claimed me in marriage under my father's law. My father, the Lucius Junius Brutus of his race, ordered me to marry her within a week, or perish ignominiously on the scaffold. That night, I fled his court, and assuming the disguise of a wandering minstrel, I joined the band in which you found me, when I had the happiness of seeing you.
If you please, your Highness had better not come too near. The laws against flirting are excessively severe.
But we are quite alone, and nobody can see us.
Still, that don't make it right. To flirt is capital.
It is capital.
And we must obey the law.
Deuce take the law.
I wish it would, but it won't.
If it were not for that, how happy we might be.
Happy indeed.
If it were not for the law, we should now be sitting side by side. Like that.
Instead of being obliged to sit half a mile off. Like that.
We should be gazing into each other's eyes. Like that.
Breathing sighs of unutterable love. Like that.
With our arm round each other's waists. Like that.
Yes, if it wasn't for the law.
If it wasn't for the law.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Not for worlds.
Being engaged to Coco, you know.
Being engaged to Coco. Were you not to Coco plighted, I would say in tender tone, loved one, let us be united, let us be each other's own. I would merge all rank and station, worldly sneers are naught to us, and to mark my admiration, I would kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged to Coco, to embrace you thus con fuoco would distinctly be no joco, and for that I should get Toco.
Toco,
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 Toco. So in spite of all temptation, such a theme I'll not discuss, and on no consideration will I kiss you fondly thus. Will I kiss you fondly thus? Let me make it clear to you, this is what I'll never do. This is what I'll never do. This is what I'll never do. I'll never do. Oh, this is what I'll never do.
There she goes, my little bride to be. To think how entirely my future happiness is wrapped up in that little parcel. Really, it hardly seems worthwhile. Oh, matrimony! What did I... Now then, what is it? Can't you see I'm soliloquizing? You have interrupted an apostrophe, sir.
Oh, I'm the bearer of a letter from His Majesty the Mikado.
A letter from the Mikado? What in the world could he have to say to me? Here it is at last. I thought it would come sooner or later. The Mikado is struck by the fact that no executions have taken place in Titipu for a year, and declares that unless someone is beheaded within 1 month, the post of Lord High Executioner shall be abolished, and the city reduced to the rank of a village.
But that would involve us all in irretrievable ruin.
Yes, there is no help for it. I shall have to execute somebody at once. The only question is, who shall it be?
Well, it seems unkind to say so, but as you're already under sentence of death for flirting, everything seems to point to you.
To me? What are you talking about? I can't execute myself.
Why not?
Why not? Well, in the first place, Self-decapitation is an extremely difficult, not to say dangerous thing to attempt. And in the second, it's suicide. And suicide is a capital offense.
That is so, no doubt.
We might reserve that point.
True, it could be argued 6 months hence before the full court.
Now, besides, I don't see how a man can cut off his own head.
A man might try.
Even if you only succeeded in cutting it half off, that would be something.
It would be taken as an earnest of your desire to comply with the imperial will.
No, pardon me, but there I am adamant. As official headsman, my reputation is at stake, and I can't consent to embark on a professional operation unless I see my way clear to a successful result.
This professional conscientiousness is highly credible to you, but it leaves us in a very awkward position.
Oh, my good sir, the awkwardness of your position is grace itself, compared with that of a man engaged in the act of cutting off his own head.
I'm afraid, unless you can obtain a substitute...
A substitute? Substitute? Certainly. Nothing easier. Poobah. I appoint you Lord High Substitute.
I should be delighted. Such a position would realize my fondest dreams. But no. At any sacrifice, I must set bounds to my insatiable ambition. I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I'd volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
My brain, it teems with endless schemes, both good and new, for titty-poo. But if I flit the benefit that I diffuse, the town would lose. Now every man to aid his clan should plot and plan as best he can.
I heard one day a gentleman say that criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fate you'll steal, and so are slain without much pain. If this is true, it's jolly for you, your courage screw to bid us adieu.
I am so proud.
My brain is
If I
with
allowed
endless
my
schemes, both good and
pride
new.
to
Who are cut
be
in two
my
can hardly
guide,
feel the
I'd
fate of benefit are slain the town would lose.
Yeah,
Now
instead
try
of
to
you
aid his
in
clan,
a
just
minute
plot and plan as best he can.
And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect what disrespected I neglect, to thus effect this aim direct. So I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and greatly pine to brightly shine, and take the line of a hero fine with grief condign, I must decline.
And go and show both friend and foe how much you dare. I'm quite aware it's your affair, yet I declare I take my share, but I don't much care.
I must decline. I must decline. I must decline. I must decline. I must decline.
Two cities out of silence in a dull dark, in a pestilent prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap shipping chopper on a big black block. Two cities out of silence in a dull dark, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap shipping chopper on a big black block. A dull dark, a lifelong lock, a short, sharp shock, a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a pestilential prison and awaiting the sensation from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. Oh no! Oh simply appalling. I, who allowed myself to be respited at the last moment, simply in order to benefit my native town, am now required to die within a month, and that by a man whom I have loaded with honors. Is this public gratitude? Go away, sir! How dare you! Am I never to be permitted to soliloquize?
Oh, go on. Don't mind me.
What are you going to do with that rope?
I'm about to terminate an unendurable existence.
Terminate your existence? Oh, nonsense. What for?
Because you are about to marry the girl that I adore.
Nonsense, sir. I won't permit it. I am a humane man, and if you attempt anything of the kind, I shall order your instant arrest. Come, sir. Desist at once, or I summon my guard.
That's absurd. If you attempt to raise an alarm, I instantly perform the happy dispatch with this dagger.
Ah! No, don't do that. This is horrible. Why, you cold-blooded scoundrel. Are you aware that in taking your own life, you are committing a crime which substitute?
What's the matter?
Is it absolutely certain you're resolved to die?
Absolutely.
Will nothing shake your determination?
Nothing.
Threats, entreaties, prayers, all useless?
All. My mind is made up.
Then if you really mean what you say, and if you're absolutely resolved to die, and if nothing whatever will shake your determination, don't spoil yourself by committing suicide, but be beheaded handsomely at the hands of the public executioner!
I don't see how that would benefit me.
You don't? Observe. You'll have a month to live, and you'll live like a fighting cock at my expense. When the day comes, there'll be a grand public ceremonial. You'll be the central figure. No one will attempt to deprive you of that distinction. There'll be a processional. Bands, the Dead March, bells tolling, all the girls in tears, Yum-Yum distracted, and then, when it's all over, general rejoicing, and a display of fireworks in the evening. Oh, you won't see them. But they'll be there all the same.
Do you really think Yum-Yum would be distracted at my death?
Oh, I am convinced of it, bless you. She is the most tender-hearted little creature alive.
I should be sorry to cause her pain. Perhaps, after all, if I were to withdraw from Japan and travel in Europe for a couple of years, I might contrive to forget her.
Oh, I don't think you could forget Yum-Yum so easily. And after all, what is more miserable than a love-blighted life?
True.
Life without Yum-Yum? Why, it seems absurd.
And yet there are a good many people in the world who must endure it.
Yes, poor devils. You're quite right not to be of their number.
I won't be of their number.
Noble fellow!
I'll tell you how we'll manage it. Let me marry Yum-Yum tomorrow, and in a month, you may behead me.
No. No, I draw the line at Yum-Yum.
Very good. If you could draw the line, so can I.
No, stop. 1 minute, be reasonable. How can I consent to your marrying Yum-Yum if I'm going to marry her myself?
Good friend, she'll be a widow in a month, and you can marry her then.
Oh, that's true, of course. I quite see that. But dear me, my position during the next month will be most unpleasant. Most unpleasant.
Not half so as unpleasant as mine at the end of it.
But, oh dear me, well, I agree! After all, it's only putting off my wedding for a month. But you won't prejudice her against me, will you? You see, I've educated her to be my wife, and she's been taught to regard me as a wise and good man. Now, I shouldn't like her views on that point disturbed.
Trust me. She shall never learn the truth from me.
Thank you.
With us, Mr. Man.
we punctually appear.
Congratulate me, gentlemen, I found a volunteer.
The Japanese equivalent for here.
'Tis Nanki Poo.
Hail Nanki Poo.
I think he'll do.
Yes, he'll do.
He yields his life if I'll Yum surrender. Now I adore that girl with passion tender, and could not yield her with a ready will, or her a lot, if I did not adore myself with passion tender still. With passion tender still.
Ah, yes, he loves himself with passion tender still.
Take her. She, not you, silly. Take her. She's yours.
The threatened cloud has passed away.
Brighter shines the dawn of day.
Though the night may come too soon.
Yes, yet a month of afternoon.
Then let the throng joy and rest with laughing song and merry dance. Then let the throng joy and dance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout, ringing cheer. Inaugurate the reaper. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate the reaper. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate the reaper.
A day, a week, a month, a year. Year of honeymoon.
Life's eventide comes much too soon.
Live at least a honeymoon.
Then let the throng joy and dance with laughing song and merry dance.
Then let the throng joy and dance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout, ringing cheer. Inaugurate the reaper. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate the reaper. With joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate the reaper. Laughing song, merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance.
As in a month you've got to die if Coco tells us true. 'Twere empty compliment to cry long life to Nanki Poo. But as 1 month you have to live as fellow citizen, this toast with 3 times 3 will give long life. Long life to you. Long life to you. Long life to you. Till then.
Honorable sirs, assist me, all of you.
Why, who is this whose evil eyes rain light on our festivities?
I claim my perjured lover, Nanki Poo. A fool to shun delights that never cloy.
Oh, leave thy deadly work undone.
Come back, oh shallow fool, come back to joy.
Away, away, ill-favored one.
Ah, 'tis Katisha, the maid of whom I told you.
No, you shall not go. These arms shall thus enfold you. A fool that fleeced my heart, no joys, a blind that ceased, no equipoise. Oh, rush that charges from half the whole. Oh, base that grudges love's lightest toll. Thy heart unbind, oh fool, oh blind. Give me my place, oh rash, oh base. Thy heart unbind, give me my place, oh fool, oh blind, oh rash, oh base. Thy heart unbind, give me my place.
If she's thy bride, restore her place. Oh fool, oh blind, oh rash, oh base.
Pink cheek that rulest where wisdom serves, bright eye that foolest heroic nerves, rose lip that scornest low-leading years, smooth tongue that warnest who rightly hears. Thy tomb is nigh, pink cheek, bright eye. Thy nail is rung, rose lip, smooth tongue. Thy doom is nigh, thy nail is rung, pink cheek, bright eye, rose lip, smooth tongue. Thy doom is nigh, thy nail is rung.
If true is hail, thy nail is rung. Pink cheek, bright eye, rose lip, smooth tongue.
Thy doom is nigh, thy nail is rung.
Away, no prosecute your quest from our intentions well expressed. You cannot turn us. The state of your connubial views towards the person you accuse does not concern us. For he's going to marry Yum Yum. Your anger pray bury, for all will be merry. I think you had better succumb. And join our expressions of glee. On this subject I pray you be dumb. You'll find there are many who went for a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. There's lots of good fish in the sea.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. You'll find there are many who went for a penny. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea.
Oh, be this one, this insult you shall rue. In vain for mercy, on your knees you'll sue. I'll tear the mask from your disguising.
Now comes the blow.
Prepare yourself for new surprising.
How foil my foe?
No minstrel he, despite bravado. I know he's the son of your. In vain you interrupt with this tornado. He is the only son of your. He is the son! The son of your the son of Ye torrent shore, ye tempest howl, your others pour with angry growl. Do ye all burst my vengeance call? Shall all triumphant overall?
Will he no more behold and count to joy soar despite your stealth? The echoes of a festival shall rise triumphant over all.
Oh, party not, at once I go, Mikado wards.
Away you go, collect your horse, proclaim your war in dismal chords.
We do not hear the dismal sound.
For joy reigns everywhere around.
We do not hear the dismal sound.
For joy reigns everywhere around.
Echoes of
The festival shall rise triumphant over all. Shall rise triumphant over all. Triumphant over all. Shall rise triumphant over all.
My arms with vengeance shall be crowned.
For joy
downcast eye. Let it brim with dew. Try if you can cry. We will do so too. When your summons start, like a frightened roar, flutter, little heart, color, come and go. Modesty at marriage tide well becomes a pretty bride. Modesty at marriage tide well becomes a pretty bride. Make the maiden hair with a summer dress. Deck the maiden fair in her loveliness. Paint a pretty face, tie the corner lip. Emphasize the grace of her ladyship. Art and nature, us and I, go to make a pretty bride. Art and nature, us and I, go to make a pretty bride. Yes, I am indeed beautiful. Sometimes I sit and wonder why it is that I'm so much more attractive than anybody else in the whole world. Can this be vanity? No. Nature is lovely and rejoices in her loveliness. I am a child of nature and take after my mother. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty. He scorns to tell a story. He won't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly be
married today to the man I love best. And I believe I'm the very happiest girl in Japan.
The happiest girl indeed, for she is indeed to be envied who has attained happiness in all but perfection.
Oh, but perfection?
Well, dear, it can't be denied that the fact that your husband is to be beheaded in a month is in its way a drawback. It does seem to take the top off it, you know.
I don't know about that. It all depends.
At all events, he will find it a drawback.
Not necessarily. Bless you. It all depends. I find it very indelicate of you to refer to such a subject on such a day. If my married happiness is to be cut short. Well, cut short. Can't you let me forget it?
Yum Yum in tears? And on her wedding morn?
They've been reminding me that in a month you're to be beheaded. Yes, we've been reminding her that you are to be beheaded.
Oh, it's quite true, you know. You are to be beheaded.
Now, some bridegrooms would be depressed by this sort of thing. A month? Well, what's a month? These divisions of time are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours make a day?
There's a popular impression to that effect.
Then we'll face it. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. And at that rate, we've about 30 years of married happiness before us.
And at that rate, this interview has already lasted 4 hours and 3/4.
Yes, how time flies when one is thoroughly enjoying oneself.
That's the way to look at it. Don't let's be downhearted. There's a silver lining to every cloud.
Certainly, let's all be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
It's absurd to cry. Quite ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedding day.
Joyous how we give thee greeting. Whither art thou fleeting? Fickle moment, prithee stay. Fickle moment, prithee stay. What though mortal joys be hollow?
Pleasures come if sorrows follow.
Though the toxin sound their long, though the toxin sound their long, ding dong, ding dong. Yet until the shadows fall over one and over all,
Sing a merry madrigal.
sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal. Fa la 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 la, fa la
Let us drive already till.
Though the hours are surely creeping, little need for woeful weeping, till the sad sundown is here, till the sad sundown is here.
I must get used to it. Only, please do it by degrees. Begin by putting your arm around her waist. There. Let me get used to that first.
Oh, wouldn't you like to retire? It must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
Oh, no, I must learn to bear it. Now then, oblige me by allowing her head to rest on your shoulder.
Like that?
And I'm much obliged to you. Now then, kiss her. Thank you. It's simple. Thank you! It's simple torture.
Oh, come, Mera. After all, it's only for a month.
No. There's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
My child. My poor child. How shall I break it to her? My little bride that was to have been.
Was to have been?
Yes. You never can be mine.
Oh, I'm so glad!
I've just ascertained that by the Mikado's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Buried alive. It's a most unpleasant death.
But whom did you get that from?
Oh, from Pooh-Bah. He's my solicitor.
Oh, but he could be mistaken.
So I thought. So I consulted the Attorney General, the Lord High Chancellor, Master of the Rolls, Judge Ordinary, and the Lord Chancellor, and they're all of the same opinion. Never knew such unanimity on a point of law in my life.
Stop a bit. This law has never been put in force.
Oh, not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable by decapitation, and married men never flirt.
Of course they don't. I quite forgot that. Well, I suppose I may take it that my dream of happiness is at an end?
Oh.
Darling, I don't want to appear selfish. And I love you with all my heart. I don't suppose I shall ever love anybody half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea, pet, that I should be buried alive in a month.
No, right. It's the very first I heard of it.
It makes a difference, don't it?
It does make a difference, of course.
You see, buried alive is such a stuffy death.
I call it a beast of a death.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes, and I see my own. If I insist on you carrying out your promise, I doom you to hideous death. If I release you, you marry Coco at once.
Here's how they do. If I marry you, when your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy do. Here's a howdy do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's a state of things, to her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, burial it brings. Here's a state of things, here's a state of things.
With the passion that's intense I worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what he says is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy do.
Here's a howdy.
Here's a howdy-do.
For if what he says is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
sorry for you.
Thanks, old fellow, I'm sure you are.
You see, I'm quite helpless.
Oh, I quite see that.
Can't conceive of anything more distressing than having one's marriage broken off at the last moment. But you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
It's awfully kind of you, but that's impossible.
Why so?
Today I die.
Wait, what do you mean?
I can't live without Yum Yum. This afternoon, I performed the Happy Dispatch.
No, pardon me, I can't allow that.
Why not?
Why, hang it all, you're under contract to die by the hand of the public executioner in a month's time. If you kill yourself, what's to become of me? Why, I shall have to be executed in your place.
It would certainly seem so.
Now then, Pish Tush, what is it?
The Mikado and his suite are approaching the city.
And we'll be here in 10 minutes.
The Mikado. He's coming to see whether his orders have been carried out. Now look here, this is getting serious. A bargain is a bargain. And you really mustn't frustrate the ends of justice by committing suicide. As a man of honor and a gentleman, you are bound to die ignominiously by the hand of the public executioner.
Very well then. Behead me.
What now?
Certainly, at once.
Chop it off! Chop it off!
My good sir, I don't go about prepared to execute gentlemen at a moment's notice. Why, I've never even killed time.
Still, as Lord High Executioner...
My good sir, as Lord High Executioner, I've got to be headed in a month. Now, I'm not ready yet. I don't know how it's done. I'm going to take lessons. I mean to begin with a guinea pig and work my way through the animal kingdom until I come to a tenor. Why, you don't suppose that as a humane man, I'd have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I hadn't thought the duties purely nominal? I can't kill you. I can't kill anything. I can't kill anybody.
Come, poor fellow. We all have duties to discharge at times. After all, what is it? If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, sooner or later it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure about that.
What do you mean?
Why should I kill you when making an affidavit that you've been killed will do just as well? Here are plenty of witnesses, the Lord Chief Justice, Lord High Admiral, Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of State for the Home Department, First Lord of the Treasury, and Chief Commissioner of Police.
But where are they?
There they are! They'll all swear to it, won't you?
Am I to understand all of us high officers of state are required to perjure ourselves to ensure your safety?
Why not? You'll be grossly insulted as usual.
Will the insult be cash down or at a date?
It'll be a ready money transaction.
Well, it will be a useful discipline. Very good. Choose your fiction and I'll endorse it. Family pride. How do you like that, my buck?
But I tell you that life without Yum Yum...
Oh, Yum Yum, Yum Yum! Bother Yum Yum! Here, Commissioner, go and fetch Yum Yum. Take Yum Yum and marry Yum Yum, only go away and never come back again. Here she comes. Yum Yum, are you particularly busy?
Not particularly.
You've 5 minutes to spare.
Yes.
Then go along with His Grace, the Archbishop of Tittipoo. He'll marry you at once.
Oh, but if I'm to be buried alive...
Now, don't ask any questions, but do as I tell you. Nanky Poo will explain all.
But one moment.
Not for worlds. Here comes the Mikado. No doubt to ascertain whether I'm obeying his decree. And if he finds you alive, I shall have the greatest difficulty in persuading him that I beheaded you. Close thing that. For here he comes.
going to do? Our Mikado, wise Mikado, noble ruler of Japan, come to us, be kind to us, and let us know your plan. Then please leave just as quickly as you can. From every kind of man or Pigeons I expect. I'm the Emperor of Japan.
And I'm his daughter-in-law elect. He'll marry his son, he's only got one, to his daughter-in-law elect.
My morals have been declared politically correct.
But they're nothing at all compared with those of his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect. In a fatherly kind of way, I govern each tribe and sect. I'll cheerfully own my sway.
Except his daughter-in-law elect. As tough as a bone, with a will of her own, is his daughter-in-law elect.
My nature is love and delight, my freedom from all defect.
He's insignificant, quite compared with his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect. A more humane Mikado never did in Japan exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make to some extent each evil liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each participant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. All prosy, dull society sinners who chatter and bleat and bore are sent to hear sermons from mystical Germans who preach from 10 till 4. The amateur tenor of vocal villainies all desire to shirk shall during off hours exhibit his powers to Madame Tussauds waxwork. Oh, the lady who dyes a chemical yellow or stains her gray hair puce or pinches her figure by skipping her dinner must dine on chocolate mousse. The idiot who in railway carriages scribbles on window panes will force the brute to only commute on Second Avenue trains. Ooh, ooh. Ah. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each participant unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, an innocent merriment. His object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime.
dancing quack who wearies with tales of countless cures. His teeth I've enacted shall all be extracted by terrified anitors. The music hall singer attends a series of masses and fugues and ops. By Bach interwoven with Brahms and Beethoven at classical Monday pops. The billiard sharp whom anyone catches, his doom's extremely hard. He's made to dwell in a dungeon cell, on a spot that's always barred. And there he'll play extravagant matches in fixless finger stalls, on a cloth untrue, with a twisted cue, and elliptical billiard balls. My object all sublime, I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner purge, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make his prisoner bent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
I am honored in being permitted to welcome your majesty. I guess the object of your majesty's visit. Your wishes have been attended to. The execution has taken place.
Oh, there's been an execution, has there?
Yes, the coroner has just handed me his certificate.
I am the coroner.
And this is the certificate of his death.
Yes.
At Titipu, in the presence of the Lord Chancellor, Lord Chief Justice, Attorney General, Secretary of State for the Home Department, Lord Mayor, and Executive of Chamber Pots and Concubines.
They were all present, Your Majesty. I counted them myself.
Oh, very good house. I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
Oh, a tough fellow he was too, a man of gigantic strength. His struggles were terrific. It really was a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
The criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of wild alarm. With a frightful, frantic, fearful frown, I bared my big right arm. I seized him by the scruff of his neck, and on his knees fell he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and guggled, I drew my snicker snee. My snicker snee. Ow. Oh, never shall I forget the cry, or the shriek that shrieked he, as I gnashed my teeth when from its sheath I drew my snicker snee.
We know him well, he cannot tell untrue or groundless tales. He always tries to utter lies, and every time he fails.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign for the stroke he didn't deserve. When all of a sudden his eye met mine, and it seemed to brace his nerve. For he nodded his head and kissed his hand and whistled and added he, as the saber true cut cleanly through that moment sad was soothed by sight of me.
The tale you can't assail, the truth it quite agrees. Where taste exact, for faultless fact, amounts to our disease.
Now, though you'd have said that head was dead, for its own head was here. It stood on its neck with a smile well bred, and bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent oath and nods, but as humble as could be. For it clearly knew the deference due to a man of pedigree. And it's, oh, I vow that deathly power was a touching sight to see. Though trunkless yet, it couldn't forget the deference due to me.
His hearty youth, he speaks the truth whenever he finds it pays. And in this case, it all took place exactly as he said. Exactly as he said.
All this is very interesting, and I should like to have seen it. But we came about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, the heir to the throne of Japan, bolted from our imperial court.
Indeed. Had he any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him, yet he fled.
I am surprised you should have fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No.
You hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain. But you know nothing. You are still unenlightened. Learn then that it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But I have a left shoulder blade that is a miracle of loveliness. People come miles to see it. My right elbow has a fascination few can resist.
Allow me.
It is on view Tuesdays and Fridays on presentation of visiting card. As for this tooth, it almost stands alone. Many have tried to draw it, but in vain.
And yet he fled.
And is now masquerading in this town, disguised as a wandering minstrel.
A wandering minstrel?
Aye. Would it be troubling you too much if I asked you to produce him? He goes by the name of,
Nanky Poo.
Oh, Nanky Poo.
It is quite easy. That is rather difficult. In point of fact, he's gone abroad.
Gone abroad? His address?
Knightsbridge.
Oh! Oh!
What's the matter?
See here, his name, Nanky Poo, beheaded this morning. Oh, where shall I find another? Where shall I find another?
Dear, this is very tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you have beheaded the heir to the throne of Japan!
I beg to offer an unqualified apology.
I desire to associate myself with that expression of regret.
We hadn't the least notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you tell? Oh, come, my good fellow, don't distress yourself. Well, it was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a wandering minstrel, he must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so. I have no doubt he thoroughly deserved all he got.
Oh, we are infinitely obliged, Your Majesty.
Much obliged, Your Majesty.
Very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Obliged? Not a bit. Don't mention it. How could you tell?
Of course, we couldn't tell who the gentleman really
It
was.
wasn't written on his forehead, you know.
Might have been on his pocket handkerchief, but wandering minstrels don't use pocket handkerchiefs.
I forget the punishment for compassing the death of the heir apparent.
Punishment?
Yes. Oh, it's something lingering. Boiling oil in it, I fancy. I think boiling oil occurs in it, but I'm not sure. I know it's something humorous, but lingering. With either boiling oil or melted lead. Oh, come, don't fret. I'm not a bit angry.
If Your Majesty will accept our assurance, we had no idea.
Of course.
I knew nothing about it.
I wasn't there.
That's the pathetic part of it. Unfortunately, the fool of an act says, compassing the death of the heir apparent. Oh, there's not a word about a mistake.
No.
Or not knowing. No. Or having no notion.
No.
Or not being there.
No.
There should be, of course.
Yes!
But there isn't.
No.
Oh, that's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn. However, cheer up, it'll be all right. I'll have it altered. Next session. Now, let's see about your execution. Will after luncheon suit you? Can you wait till then?
Oh, yes. We can wait till then.
Then we'll make it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
Oh, I'm really very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world. And virtue is triumphant only in theatrical performances. See how the fates there gives a lot. For A is happy, B is not. Yet B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A. Is B more worthy?
I should say he's worth a great deal more than A.
Yet A is happy, oh so happy, laughing ha ha, chaffing ha ha, nectar quaffing ha ha ha. Ever joyous, ever gay, happy undeserving A. Ever joyous, ever gay, happy undeserving A.
If I were fortune, which I'm not, B should enjoy A's happy lot, and A should die in misery. That is assuming I am B.
But should A perish,
That should be, of course, assuming I am B. B should be happy, oh so happy, laughing ha ha, chaffing ha ha, nectar quaffing ha ha ha. But condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious me. But condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious me. Well, a nice mess you've got us into, with your nodding head and deference due to a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bold and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborative detail indeed, corroborative fiddlestick.
And you're just as bad as he is with your cock-and-a-bull story about him catching an eye, whistling an air, but that's so like you. You must put in your oar.
How about your big right arm?
Oh, yes, and your snicker sneeze.
Well, never mind that now. one thing to be done. Nanki-Poo hasn't started yet. He must come to life again at once. Here he comes. Nanki-Poo, I've good news for you. You're reprieved.
Oh, but it's too late now. I'm a dead man and I'm off for my honeymoon.
Nonsense. A terrible thing has just happened. It seems you're the son of the Mikado.
Yes, but that happened some time ago.
Oh, is this the time for airy persiflage? Your father is here, and with Katisha.
My father? And with Katisha?
Yes, he wants you particularly.
So does she.
But he's married now.
But bless my heart, what has that to do with it?
Well, Katisha claims me in marriage, but I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will insist on my execution, and if I'm executed, my wife will have to be buried alive.
You see our difficulty.
Yes, but if you, I don't know what's to be done.
There's one chance for you. If you can convince Katisha to marry you.
If you could convince Katisha to marry you, then she'd have no further claim on me. And in that case, I could come to life without any fear of being put to death.
I marry Katisha?
I really do think it's the only course.
But my good girl, have you seen her? She's something appalling.
Well, that's only her face. She is a left elbow which people come miles to see.
I am told she has a right heel much admired by connoisseurs.
My good sir, I decline to pin my heart upon any lady's right heel.
It comes to this. While Katisha is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit. When Katisha is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers in spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, with promise of merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what we mean when we say that a thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. It's only her face.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most unattractive old thing, tra-la, with a caricature of a face, with a caricature of face. And that's what I mean when I say or I sing. Oh, bother the flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, bother the flowers of spring.
Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
Death alone can give my doom to wait, my punishment to live. Hearts do not break, they sting and ache for old love's sake, but to
vengeance pursues. They are heating the cauldron.
Katisha, behold the suppliant at your feet. Katisha, mercy!
Mercy? Have you mercy on him? Oh, see here, you. You have slain my love. Well, he did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I am an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me. Well, he is dead. And where shall I find another? It takes years to train a man to love me. Am I to go through the weary round again and at the same time implore mercy for you who robbed me of my prey? I mean my pupil. Justice's education was on the point of completion. Oh, where shall I find another?
Here!
What?
Here. Katisha! For years I have loved you with a white-hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Ah! Shrink not from me. If there is aught of woman's mercy in your heart, turn not away from a lovesick suppliant whose every fiber thrills at your tiniest touch. Now, true it is that under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose inner fires are broiling the soul within me, but the fire will not be smothered. It defies all attempts at extinction, and breaking forth all the more eagerly for its long restraint, declares itself in words that will not be weighed, that cannot be schooled, that should not be too severely criticized. Katisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it. Darling!
You, whose hands still reek with the blood of my betrothed, dare to address words of passion to the woman you have so foully wronged?
I do. Accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
Oh, go to. But who knows so well as I that no one has ever yet died of a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow, tit willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed, and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave, and an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Oh, willow, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, tit willow, tit willow. That was blighted affection that made him exclaim, Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. though I probably shall not exclaim as I die. Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow.
Did he really die of love?
He really did.
All on account of a cruel little hen?
Yes.
Poor little chap.
It's an affecting tale, and quite true. I knew the bird intimately.
Did you? He must have been very fond of her.
Oh, his devotion was something extraordinary.
Oh, poor little chap. And if I refuse you, will you go and do the same?
At once.
No, you mustn't. No, anything but that. I'm a silly little goose.
Oh. You are.
And you won't hate me just because I'm a teeny wee bit bloodthirsty, will you?
Hate you? Katisha, is there not beauty even in bloodthirstiness?
My idea. Exactly! There is beauty in the meadow of the blast. There is grandeur in the growling of the gale. There is every whimper pouring when the lion is a-roaring and the tiger is a-gnashing of his tail.
Yes, I like to see a tiger in the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of his tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is free, and earthquakes only terrify the dolts. But to him scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in the falling of a flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts.
If that is so singing down India's evident very arty someone, away we'll go and merrily marry no toddly tiny till day is done.
There's beauty in extreme old age. Do you fancy you are elderly enough? Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting is a maiden all the better when she's tough.
Of this fine dominion, it's the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Oh, are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic in a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention. And I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so
Then I'm ready, it's everything very odd to someone. Away we'll go and merrily marry no toddly tally till day is done. If that is so then I'm ready, it's everything very odd to someone. Away we'll go and merrily marry no toddly tally till day is done. Sing very down, very we'll merrily marry no toddly tally till day is done.
Had a capital lunch and all is ready. Have all the painful preparations been made?
Your Majesty, all is prepared.
Then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
Mercy! Mercy for Coco! Mercy for Pitty Sing! Mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
I beg your pardon, I don't think I quite caught that remark.
Mercy, even for Pooh-Bah.
Mercy, my husband that was to have been is dead. And I have just married this
You've not been long about it.
We were married before the registrar.
I am the registrar. I am the registrar.
I see. But my difficulty is that as you have slain the heir apparent.
The heir apparent is not slain.
Bless my heart, my son.
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Yes, you are entitled to a little explanation, but I think he will give it better whole than in pieces.
Your Majesty, it's like this. It is true that I stated that I had killed Manky Poo.
Yes, with most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bold.
Will you refrain from putting in your oar? It's like this. When Your Majesty says let a thing be done, it's as good as done. Practically it is done because Your Majesty's will is law. Your Majesty says kill a gentleman, and a gentleman is told off to be killed. Consequently, that gentleman is as good as dead. Practically he is dead. And if he is dead, why not say so?
I see. Nothing could possibly be more satisfactory.
For he's gone and married him young. Your anger pray bury, for all will be married. I think you had better succumb. And join our expressions of me.
On this subject I pray you be dumb. Your notions, though many, are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. You've a very good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. The fire there are many who wait for a penny. Many for hearts of the fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea.
The threatening cloudlets pass away.
And shines of dawn day.
Although the night may come too soon.
Years and years of afternoon.
Then let the throng the joy of earth with laughing song proclaim.
The throng the joy and dance with laughing song and merry. With laughing song and merry dance.
With